Ding dong. Hello YouTube. I'm Zero CSN, aka Mr. Ham Radio Deals, and his place on the interweb for another one. Trust you're all having a wonderful day. Mine's not been a bad one. Had an early finish at work today. All's good. Can't beat getting there early and getting done early, can you? Just makes going to work a joy. Can spend your life at work, can't you? And I'd sooner not do. Get in, get the job cracked off, get home. There you go. Anyway, here's a little chestnut for you. UK call signs. I was talking to a guy yesterday on the radio. He said he was a bit confused at all the call signs we've got in the UK. I'm not surprised, because we've got hundreds of the bloody things, haven't we? So we've got to thinking, just how many call signs is there? Different variants and why, what do they stand for, etc, etc. What happened to the good old B licence and A licence, and that was it, wasn't it? That was good enough. That was all you needed. But it's not now. There's a myriad of call signs. So I tried explaining to the guy yesterday, but it would take too long. It's crazy, isn't it? When you think about it now, with the B licence and the Morse, I don't know. That's what I started out with, as many did. Did the REE and did the Morse code as well, the 12 words a minute. Proud of that as well. A lot of people say Morse is a load of bollocks, but personally, I think they should have kept it. It stopped a lot of grief, didn't it? It's, you know, made you want it more, so you put more into it, you appreciated it, you did it. But we'll get back to that shortly. Stay with the call signs though, the M3s, the foundation licence, boys. Well, as it's lovingly known in the UK, the cornflake licence, because they give it away with everything, didn't they? I think it was about 10 questions or something, of which 9 were your age, name, date of birth, hair colour, eye colour, and what sex you were. Some failed it as well, believe it or not, which I find amazing. But they actually did fail it. Worrying aspect, really, when you're putting them into that kind of a situation. Some passed it, some have still got it. It was a stepping stone, the M3/M6, as it is now updated. It was a taster, restricted power, but unfortunately they give you most of the bands, which was a massive mistake. I don't think they should have ever done it. They should have kept the M3 foundation licence, M6 foundation licence, and they should have just stuck them on 270, which in turn would have kept 270 active and lively in the UK. Would have been beneficial to the dealers selling radios, because obviously people would have had to buy it to use it. Stay on the band until they actually progressed, and they should have been on a time scale as well, I think, to progress. I know a lot of people say it's an hobby and blah 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 blah, but that's totally academical. You take the FL licence with the intention of progression. That's what it was there for. It was to progress, not to procrastinate, sit on your ass and never do nothing with it. Just go out and buy amplifiers and HF sets. I mean, the 10 watt power restriction that they slapped on it was a joke. Given most HF sets are all 100 watts, and even 2 beta 77 sets 50 watts, so of course everybody uses the 10 watts, not. And don't progress. Was it a waste of time? Yeah, it was, because those that have got it have still got it, which I don't know. I can't see why. I think they should have done a little bit more with it. There is some good M6s. I know a couple personally, they're nice lads, they use the radio well, but unfortunately, when we said the other day with a video that a lot of CBers turn into radio AMs, and 90% of them are good operators. The 10% that aren't were the ones that took the M3. You know, the ones that smoke Golden Virginia off your mate Billy in the pub for £3 a pack. Chinese sweepings up with rat droppings in it, and drink 40 gallon of white lightning a day. They're the 10% that got the M3s, M6s that he didn't want, because they're the ones that come on and cause absolute chaos. But hey, that was the M3, M6 scenario. And of course then we had the intermediate, the 2E0s, 2E1s. The 2E1 was a slightly more advanced version of the M6. They got 50 watts. The 2E0 was like 50 watts, but with a CW option to get the 0. and it also gave them full access to all the bands. I think the M3, M6 restricted them off 10 metres for a while, but it doesn't anymore. So they've all got that as well. They don't really need to progress, but ayo. And then of course we get into the full licenses. Obviously you had the G1s, the original B licenses, and the G6s, the G8s, etc. They were just the B licenses. They weren't interested in HF. They didn't want to bother. They didn't do the Morse. The Morse was pointless. They never do it because they don't like HF. They're quite happy on 2 metres. Until they removed the Morse restriction requirement for HF, and then all the B licenses that didn't like HF and didn't want to do the Morse because it was pointless all bought HF radios and went on HF because they thought it were fabulous. It just wasn't fabulous when they had to do the Morse to get it, which says a lot about some B licenses. For me, personally, I just stopped them doing it. I wouldn't have had it, but there you go, that's another tale, isn't it? And then of course the G0s, G3s, G4s, the old boys. They were the B and A licenses, the RE and the Morse. They did it how we did it. The M0 that I got was the RE and the Morse. Now the thing is with the M0, a lot of people get confused because they've got the later M0s, which after C the Morse requirement was scrapped and they went to the 3-tier exam. So any M0 after C is not M0 with Morse 12 words a minute, it's a 3-tier exam with no requirement for Morse. So which that kind of leads to a little bit of, I don't know, I wouldn't say a conflict, but there's a little bit of one-upmanship, you know. A bit like the G0s, G3s, etc. The G4s, they look down on the M's. The M's look down on the M's that don't do the Morse. There's sort of like after C. And everybody looks down on the FLs and the intermediates, to be honest. It's a funny old game, isn't it, this call sign licensing nonsense, but it's a massive, massive structure. There's too many call signs. There's too many sort of levels of call sign. I think they're unnecessary. We don't need foundation licenses. We don't need intermediate licenses neither. What we need is people to get off their arse, pull the finger out and do the exam. That's it. It's not that difficult. I passed it. I didn't go to college or anything. I read the book. A few visits to the local radio club, although I have to be honest, the local radio club, albeit was a great course, Oldham Amateur Radio Club, they had the club in a bar, in a social club. And being a plasterer, I liked to drink at the time, so I used to spend more time in the bar getting flogged than I did in the tuition room. But I still passed. I read up on the book and I stuck my head into it, and you know, I got there. Like I said, the Morse, well, a very good friend of mine taught me the Morse, did it in 6 weeks, start to finish, happy days, job was good, got it, did what we needed to do. So I don't believe we need all these call signs. Like I say, for me, just scrap the M6s, just scrap the M3, get rid of them. If they aren't upgraded, they should take it off them. The 2Es, 2E1s, 2E0s, same crack again, they should get a couple of months, 12 month, 18 month max, and then they should take it off them if they don't progress. Simple as. There's no need to not do. It's just a simple case of they don't have to, because they've got everything, you see. Why would you do the full examination, even now the 3-tier exam, which is not difficult from what I've seen. It's no more difficult than the RE on the Morse, for me anyway. But there's no need to progress. You get an M6 or an M3 licence, do the 20 questions or whatever it is, you know, about what you had for tea last night and, you know, what sex you were when you were born, blah, 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 blah. And then you can have everything, and you can sit there with your 100 watt HF and your expert and your step IR, and you can work the world and do whatever you want. Why would you want to progress it? It's no point, is it? It's a bit like getting your car licence, in it, and then saying, well, you know, you can drive a 40-ton Arctic if you want down the motorway, as long as you don't go in the middle lane. Who's going to go for an heavy goods licence? You don't need to, do you? You might as well just stay as you are. Go and drive a bus, you're sorted, don't worry about it. I think it's wrong. I really do. That's just my opinion. Again, a lot of people will disagree with it, and it'll be the ones that's got them licences that disagree. And the B licences, the G1s and the G7s, and the ones that didn't like Morse and thought Morse was a load of shite, there'll be another bunch that don't agree with it either. honest to God, when they scrapped the Morse requirement for HF, and the day that that ended, all the B licenses that had sort of sat on 270, sort of like, oh, it's HF, it's crap. Interference, big antennas, loads of messing, don't want none of that. I'm quite happy with my little core linear, me and my 290 Yaesu and everything. Scrap the Morse requirement, bang, out they were, personal loan, down out, 20 grand on an HF set, amplifiers, step IRs, towers, you name it, a full crack, bang, HF, here we come. It's a load of drama and nonsense, to be honest with you. It truly, truly is. So that's where I think it should be as it is. Two-tier licence. The B licence, the REE, tells you what you need to know. And a bit of CW as well. Now I don't care that nobody uses CW, as they say, quote unquote, anymore. Yes they do. They use CW on radio, which is the hobby that you're doing the licences for anyway. So I don't see any problem with it being an examination requirement to get access to the bands. I really don't see the problem. That is what you are to. And this, I've no time. I work for a living. I've got kids. I've just had a new leg fitted, and dogs just had pups. I've only had 10. That's another 14 grand I can't declare to the tax. La-di-da-di-da-di-da. Load of bollocks. Get on and do it. That's the way it is, isn't it? What do you do when you're decorating your house? Do you sit there and look at the paint and think, sit there long enough, somebody will do that for me? No, you don't. You get off your arse, you get a paintbrush and you get it painted. So that's the same crack, in it. Do the CW. Do whatever's required for the Morse. Do whatever's required for the full licence. Happy days. Scrap all the shite before it. We don't need it. Get rid of it. All that does is lets people procrastinate with big HF radios, big fat amplifiers and big fat beams. And the amount of times you go on HF and you're there, you try to work some radio, whatever it is. You might be Mohammed in Uganda that only comes on once every blue moon. And you're getting battered off an M6 or a 2E0. You're 5'9" and he's 5'60" over, killing you. And he's there on his 10 watts with his G5 RV. They must think you're stupid. Well, we're not. Get it sorted. Call signs. Confusing? Not many. It's not as confusing as the people that use it. But you know what? We love them all. Honestly. Some we do, some we don't. I think some of them should have it took off them, to be fair. I mean, who goes on the radio pissed up, full of skunk, white lightning, chatting bollocks? They haven't got a clue who they're talking to, they haven't got a clue what they're doing, and they're there tuning the radio up. They're spending more money getting it fixed because they've blown the bloody thing up. But it's a wonderful hobby, isn't it? That's how it is. That's how it is. Call signs are us. And there's enough of them. Different levels, different range, different veins, different people. I think we should all be one. As a whole. Big love. Honestly. That's what I think anyway. And again, like we say, it's just my opinion. And I know a lot of you will disagree with it, and everybody will say this, that and the other, and you're talking bollocks. Yes, it's all nonsense, but you love it and you watch it. So there you go. So here we go. You know the drill. If you like it, like it. Subscribe if you want to. Always nice. If you don't like your mates, share it to your mates, because I'm sure they'll love it. It's the gift that keeps giving. And for the comments, you know the drill. Put them in the comment box, good or bad. We'll answer every one of them. Whether it's good or bad, doesn't matter to me. I'll take time out of my day and reply if you take time out of your day to comment. And I know some of you just sit there thinking, you fat baldy tosser, will you shut up? Got now else to do, the wife don't speak to us. That's what happens after nearly 40 years of being married together, done it? You know what I mean? You know, I said it was a long haul, I tell you. But hey, crack on. There you go. Leave you with it. Have fun on the radio. Big love. Look after each other. And the Blackpool Rally on Sunday as well. I think we are definitely going. So, if you're going and you see us, give us a tap. On the shoulder. Not with an hammer, ideally. Please. I've got a busy work schedule. I could do without some time in dock. We'll have a chat. We'll have a brew. Well, if you're buying anyway. And some chips as well. We're partial to chips. Might have a fish as well if you're feeling flush. But other than that, we'll be hanging around somewhere. We'll be sat in the cafe area having a brew and a chat. If you see us and we're there, come up and have a chat. Say hello. Have fun. Catch you later. Cheers for watching. Cheers for the likes. See you then. is out of here again.